War Games News Radio presents Astoundingly Awesome Tales. Brought to you by Nuka-Cola and Sugar Bombs. Get your daily dose of sugar with Sugar Bombs.
Hey there, Wastelanders. Welcome back to War Games News Radio. My name's Ryan, and today we are taking a look at the Astoundingly Awesome Mission Pack for Fallout Wasteland Warfare by Modiphius Entertainment. And this new book is aptly named as it is jam-packed with 15 different scenarios, all part of 5 different linked campaigns. There are 3 missions each per campaign, but you don't have to play all of these scenarios as linked missions. They can work just fine as standalone scenarios as well, but they do act as a bit of a good jumping off point for some different factions in the game, as each one of these campaigns is tied to a specific faction. The gang over at Modiphius were kind enough to send us a copy of this booklet to take a look at, so we're going to go through the PDF here, look at some of the new rules, and then we're going to play one of the new missions inside the book titled A Quick Exit, which is one of the Survivor campaign missions. So let's dive in and take a look at this book and highlight some of the new expansion rules as well as the scenarios before we jump into some quick gameplay. Right off the top, you can see we have our 5 different campaigns here. One for the Survivors, Super Mutants, Brotherhood of Steel, Raiders, and the Institute. On top of all of these missions, we do have regional tables, which are very similar to what you'll find in the new Commonwealth expansion for the game as well. If you haven't checked out my review on some of those new terrain and region rules, and you can check out that video popping up here. But let's jump into some of these missions here and take a look at also the background tables, which is a fun new little element which helps randomly generate a bit of a backstory for your crew if you're playing in survival mode, narrative mode, or something that requires more of a story-driven background. Each one of these new missions has a suggested force list for both yourself and an adversary, whether you're playing against the AI or head-to-head against another player. They also have, as mentioned, these curated decks and regional rules, which can give you tables to roll off of rather than building individual decks for weapons and events and danger and stranger cards. These new curated decks and regional rules can really help to speed up gameplay, add that depth, and are honestly worth the price of admission on this expansion all by themselves as far as I'm concerned. But this is a mission pack, and we are jam-packed here with missions. This is the one that we're going to be playing in just a moment here. Quick Exit. It gives you a quick breakdown of the story, scenario, aim, all of the rules you need to get going, and your battlefield setup. On top of that, as mentioned, you've got your suggested forces here, so it gives you an idea of what you can start off with, as well as a suggested cap limit, as well as terrain pack suggestions, which go hand in hand again with that Commonwealth expansion and all of the new awesome terrain rules that are loaded in there as well. You also get your AI settings if you're playing against an adversary, which make this game so fun to play solo mode, and of course you've got your scenario epilogue should you decide to continue on into another scenario, which we have here, a linked scenario, an unlikely partnership. We scroll down here quickly for a moment. We get to the regional tables, which have a special rule as well as curated wasteland decks for different areas that you might encounter out in the wasteland. For example, we have abandoned transit system, a desolate wasteland, scrapyard, survivor settlement, pre-war military base, ruined city. It goes on. And there's lots more of these that you can find in that Commonwealth expansion as well. So these two packages really do go very well together and build upon these new expanded rules, which I'm really excited to see, and hopefully we'll get more of these mission packs that build on some of these factions and these different region rules down the road. But we also have the background tables, which are a lot of fun, and you'll see how that sort of helps to build the narrative of the story when we get into the gameplay here in just a second. But how these work, you roll a green accuracy die as well as a blue special effect die, match the results here to get your character's background story, and gives you an idea as how you can build some of that narrative into your games. It also allows you to roll for an adversary faction if you want to randomize what enemies you're going to be playing. So you don't have to use all of the prescribed factions and force lists that you find in this book. You can do some random generating ones as well, which is always kind of fun to keep you on your toes. And you have one of these background tables for each of the different factions covered in this book. So 5 different factions right off the top to build these different backgrounds. So a lot of fun, a lot of missions, and a lot of new rules to help add some depth to your Wasteland Warfare games. And speaking of which, I went ahead and filmed the first of what will be many astoundingly awesome gameplay videos, playing through the first mission in the Survivors campaign in this booklet titled A Quick Exit. It follows one single solitary vault dweller as they try to escape from their sinister vault and make it out into the wider wasteland. So let's go and take a look at all of these new rules and campaigns at work in A Quick Exit. Let's jump into it. And here's our map setup for a quick exit. Here we have our vault, which I've designated Vault 22, in which our lone vault dweller here is going to try to escape from the sinister Vault-Tec plans which have been happening down here below ground. From this edge here, we are going to try to make it all the way across the board to the far edge, but there are 3 other vault residents who are going to try to stop us from doing just that. Of course, as if escape wasn't enough, we also, of course, need to be geared up before we leave and head out into the wasteland. So there are 5 different searchable items scattered across the board. We need to recover at least 2 of these and make it out in order to win the scenario. Now, because this mission is found in the Astoundingly Awesome Tales book, we're going to use some of the astoundingly awesome rules that come along with it. So we're going to generate a backstory for our survivor, and then we're also going to use from the Commonwealth expansion one of the pre-generated Wasteland regions as well. First up, we're going to roll for our Vault Dweller's background. So we're going to roll a green accuracy die and a blue special effect die. Depending on what we get on this table, will determine our background. So our Vault Dweller is going to have a -2 and 2 stars. So looking over here on our chart, -2, 2 stars, a Wastelander out looking for a lost family member or friend. Okay, so looks like at the start of this mission, we are trying to go and retrieve a lost loved one. And taking a look in the Commonwealth expansion here for our region, we're going to use non-functioning vault. So the special rule for this environment is a ricochet. If a model makes a ranged attack with a pistol or rifle and rolls a critical fail while not firing into combat, then we resolve the base weapon damage against that same model. So there we go. If us or one of the Vault Dwellers fires an X when shooting, then yeah, that's going to backfire. While we are using the Vault special rule, we're not going to be using the Vault tables here, as this scenario in the Astoundingly Awesome Tales book has its own set of items, danger cards, stranger cards. So I've logged those into the Fallout Wasteland Warfare app, so we're going to make those draws as they come along rather than using the D20 tables in this book. Also from the Commonwealth Rules expansion, I'm going to be using terrain rules for the military barricades, heavy consoles, and terminals, and there's another set of heavy consoles and terminals there as well. So if I interact with any of those terrain pieces, I can use their special rules. Reroll, cover, gain access to look at any one of the searchables that I on my choice, and the terminals will allow me to draw an admin password, which I can use to hack. So a couple of awesome little boons in there if I decide to get distracted and go for some of these terrain rules. For our forces, we have a single Vault Dweller who starts the scenario with no equipment. Any items we want to pick up in this scenario, we will have to gain through interacting with searchable markers. And for our adversaries, we have 2 Vault Dwellers, each equipped with 10mm pistols, and the Vault-Tec security officer, Sebastian Bart, named after one of our Patreon Chosen One members, Sebastian Barthelme. They're equipped with a combat shotgun and a baton. I made one change to the items in the Wasteland deck and swapped out the combat shotgun that's supposed to be in there for an assault rifle, just because I felt that thematically made more sense. We've got combat shotguns on this side already, so I wanted to mix things up. So normally we're supposed to be playing at 150 caps for this mission for our 1 sole survivor, but I'm at 148. Big whoop. And I also made one slight change to the Vault Dweller force, because one of the Vault Dwellers was supposed to be equipped with a rifle, which they actually can't use according to their stat card. So I changed that out for a 10mm pistol. So 150 caps on the dot, 148. We've got an undiscriminate amount of rounds to try to make it out of here. Let's get into round 1. Top of round 1, I get to go first, randomly scattered deployment, and of course I ended up in this far back corner here. What are you gonna do? But hey, we've got the security guard, Bart, at the far back there, along with one of the Vault Dwellers and another one on the far left side. So I'm up first, and I think, yeah, why not? I'm gonna take advantage of being close to this whole terminal situation here. I could go and reveal the first item, but I'm just gonna take one move, stay within cover. Then I'm going to make a use computers test, succeeding on a 5 to try to reveal one of these searchables of my choice as per the Commonwealth rules. Let's give it a go on a 5. Hey, we nail it with our last action. So yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with right in the middle of the room. So I'm going to go for this one anyway. It doesn't really matter. Okay, use computers test is what we've discovered on that far side. That's going to do it for my side of things. Time to shift it over to the bad guys. Vault Dweller in the far corner got the first activation, so she's going to move once and twice to head towards the main chamber. Rounding out the enemy turns, the Vault Dweller moves twice, got the attack AI action, and the security officer got the defend AI action. So again, they're also going to move twice to stay in range of their Vault Dweller there. Almost forgot. I have the lockers over here as well, which their terrain rule is also in play. But that's going to bring it up for the end of round 1. So yeah, so far I know what we're dealing with in the middle, but it's time for me to start boogieing and get some items because these two are getting dangerously close for comfort. So let's get into round 2. Event card for round 2, we got Lost Supplies. A beacon starts emanating from a small supply crate embedded in the ground. Add a random searchable to the center of the battlefield. We already have one searchable in the center of the battlefield, so we'll put this random one orange in a random direction from the center right about there. So we'll put that one here and call it a day. Even more loot for us to get our hands on, but we don't need to worry about that one so much. We need to get these pieces of loot. And seeing as it's my turn again here at the start of the round, let's just go ahead and make our play and get in base-to-base contact with our first searchable item here and reveal a search test with danger or fail. So let's go ahead and give that a search test here, succeeding on 5s, I believe. Hey, there we go. That's going to do it. So let's go ahead and make a first draw for a piece of equipment here. We're going to reveal the Vault jumpsuit, or Vault 111 jumpsuit in this case. Gives me some extra juice as far as armor and the like, but yeah, could have really used a weapon, probably. But hey, I'm actually blocked off from any of the bad guys at this moment. So let's go through the rest of the AI and see if we can't start boogieing. Seeing their chance to get the jump on the Vault Dweller here, the Vault Tech security guard takes one move over the barricade and a second move to get right within blasting distance for the next round. Not so great. Vault Dweller on the far side gets objective and makes 2 moves, booking it in towards the door here to try to get a flanking maneuver on our survivor. Whoops. And the final Vault Dweller takes 1 move through the door and is going to take a shot with their 10mm pistol through cover at our sole survivor. Vault Dweller hitting on 3s. That is a hit for 3 damage, 3 armor. Stops 2, takes 1. Thanks to the Survivor Strong Armor bonus, I'm going to deflect that first point of damage, but now I am wide out in the open. That's going to do it for round 2. It's time to get into round 3. I'm going to get the chance to go once again, and I got to make a break for some weapons here. Looks like things are getting a little bit dodgy. I might have to be doing some run and gun, but let's see what happens as we roll into round 3. Event deck for round 3 is a neutral party. Someone new has entered the battlefield. Add a investigation marker yellow in halfway along the shortest edge of the battlefield. When I interact with it, I can draw a stranger card. If I'm unengaged at the end of the round with that investigation marker, move it yellow in a random direction. We'll put the investigation marker hiding just behind the barricade there and see if it moves or if we have a chance to interact with it. Well, I'm going to turn tail and run the fuck away, making our first move down just kind of through the door there, and then I'm going to make a bit of a bold play. I need to make up some ground, so I'm going to charge headlong into this other Vault Dweller to about there, so I can hopefully just take a bit of the brunt, maybe negate any shots into combat, and when I break engagement, go for a second item. Let's hope this pays off, because it's time for the AI to do their thing. First up for the AI is the Vault Tech security officer, who's going to make a jockeyed move around this corner here and then charge into combat, outnumbering our Vault Dweller. Yeah, kind of forgot about that second exit there. Whoops. And the security officer takes a green die for their charge, while the second Vault Dweller here is going to get the attack action, and they're going to do something similar. First a move, and then they got the reckless shooting action. So they're actually going to take a shot into combat. So here we go. Vault Dweller hitting on 5s because of shooting into combat. That's a hit, but who does it hit? On a 1, it's our sole survivor. 2, Vault Dweller. 3, the Vault Tech security, and then 4 will be us as well. So anything but a 1 or a 4, please. That's a 2. So that's actually going to be the Vault Dweller there. I believe they only have 1 physical armor on 2 damage. They're gonna take it both. A little friendly fire might just turn my luck here at the end of round 3. It is my turn to try to make a break for it. I was hoping to just be able to disengage and take 1 attack, but now things have gotten pretty messed up in here. But hey, let's get into round 4 and see if I can't make a break for it. Event deck for round 4 is Damp Air. The moist air keeps the dust down. Any blank face on a green treated as -1. There is no blank face on a green die, so in this case it's treated, -1 is treated as a -2. For more information on how to read the green blank die misprint, go check out the Fallout Wasteland errata in the description below. Almost forgot about our mysterious stranger here, who's going to move yellow once this direction. Okay, this is going to be dodgy. I'm going to have to make a break for it here, getting all kinds of opportunity attacks from the enemy. But hey, it's what must be done if we're to make it out of here and to, get an item that we can use to fight back. So we're gonna take our first move into the box here, and then we're going to take some attacks. So first up, let's do the Vault Dweller, who's going to attack with their 10mm pistol. They're going to be hitting on crits or cogs because of the quick action. That's a miss. And then it's time for the close combat attack of the Vault Security Officer with the combat shotgun. Actually, no, wait, this would make more sense if they used the baton because they get a specialty. Okay, this is a bit of a complicated one. I had to look it up because it is in fact a 4 green die attack. The 2 green are for the baton normally, a green for the charge, a green for the outnumbering, and then on top of all of that, there is a +2 and then a -2 because of the specialty, and then the quick action. So all that to say, hitting on 4s with 4 green dice. Yeah, that's a hit for 3 damage, 1 armor break on 2 armor now broken down. Stops 1, takes 2. Okay, well that sucked, but hey, at least we survived. We still got a good healthy cropping of hit points, but let's go ahead and try to make this terminal test. So we're going to be succeeding this one on an intelligence of 5. Yes, we just nailed it. That was a close one. That means we get to draw for another item finally. Please, dear God, give me a weapon. That'll do, the assault rifle. Okay, we are strapped. We are geared up in our vault suit. It is the end of our turn, and that means it's time for the bad guys to do their thing. So let's run through these activations once more. First up, this Vault Dweller is going to take 2 shots into the Sole Survivor with the 10mm pistol, hitting on 3s. That's a hit for the first, 3 damage, 3 armor. Stops 2, takes 1. Second shot, same thing, hitting on 3s. That's also a hit for 3 damage, 3 armor. Stops 1, takes 2. Ouch. That hurt a lot more than I wanted it to. Now it's going to unfortunately be our Vault Tech Security Officer who charges once, taking a, let's see what they get randomly for the charge. That's going to be another green die. So that's going to be a 3 green die attack in on our Sole Survivor. So hitting on 6s. That is a hit for 1 armor break, 2 damage, 2 armor. Stops 1, takes 1. We are just hanging on by the skin of our teeth. Well, we are very much running out of health and running out of options, but it's now going to be up to this Vault Dweller who's going to take 1 charge in through and take a close combat attack with their pistol. Vault Dweller gets a green die for the charge, so they're going to be hitting on 3s. Ah, crap, that's a hit for 3 damage. 3 damage, 4 armor. Stops 1, takes 2. That's the end of our Vault Dweller. And just like that, before her adventure truly begins, our Vault Dweller is taken out of play. Maybe she'll be able to escape from the brig of our vault one of these days, but for now, she has unfortunately been defeated. Despite not coming away with the win, this was a pretty fun mission. A bit of a run and gun. If we had gotten a gun and part of our run in the first draw, maybe that would have changed things up a bit. But unfortunately, we were a little bit outgunned by our Vault Tech crew here, but hey, that's the way it goes when you're trying to liberate the Wasteland. And sadly, that's a loss for our Vault Dweller in the first Astoundingly Awesome Tales video, but rest assured, they will make their return in part 2 of this campaign, which will be coming out in just a little while, when our Vault Dweller is finally able to escape Vault 22 and meet up with a lone Wasteland Wanderer out there somewhere in the wastes. Because of the loss, our Vault Dweller will start off part 2 with a bit of a handicap, and whatever that penalty is will be decided by our faithful viewers there on Patreon. So if you want to get your say on what penalty our Vault Dweller will experience out there in the wastes, then consider becoming a member of our Patreon community, where for as little as $3 a month, you can help support the channel so we can make more videos more often, and you can also get kickbacks like double entry into future WGNR giveaways, exclusive access to polls, not unlike the one we're putting up for part 2 of Astoundingly Awesome Tales, and you can even become a named character in a future WGNR video or battle report, just like Bart the security guard in this one. So if you want to get involved and become part of the conversation, follow our social media links down below, consider joining our Patreon, and as always, stay tuned because WGNR will be back.